Hello there everyone, Twin Game Collector here bringing you some more Legos to look at. What am I doing today? Well, today I'll be looking at some Lego TIE Fighters from throughout the years. Yep, the Imperial TIE Fighter specifically, not going up over the First Order TIE Fighter or the Sith TIE Fighter. No, just the plain old, simple Imperial TIE Fighter. The Imperial TIE Fighter is one of those nostalgic ships from Star Wars. Most people who've seen Star Wars know what a TIE Fighter is. And, well, I'm going to be going over the 3 that I happen to own. In total, there were 5 Imperial TIE Fighters made. I have 3. The first one is very similar to this. This is the 2005 one. The original one came out in, I believe, 2001. It looked more or less like this, with just less bricks. So I don't have that one. I also don't have the 2011 TIE Fighter. Well, I'm pretty sure that's not too important to look at. So let's start with the 2005 TIE Fighter. This was set number 7263. Retailed for around $20. It came with a Darth Vader minifigure and a TIE Fighter pilot. Yep, this was a set that I happened to own as a kid. Not this exact one, but I had this set. Yep, I remember getting it at Target as an Easter gift. I was allowed to get one Lego set. It was either between this or Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, and I chose this because the Darth Vader had a light-up lightsaber. Now, I'd show you that, but unfortunately the batteries on this guy have long since died out. Yeah, they died not long after I got this figure. So, yeah. But what you would do is you would push on the head, and the lightsaber would turn red. Pretty neat. Yep. Let's go over this manual first because I don't have the actual box. It's a very small build. As a kid, this took me half a day to build. Now, as an adult, it took me like 15 minutes. You know, you have 15 minutes to build this. Ah, there's a nostalgic ad. Lego Star Wars the video game. Coming April 2005. That was a fun game. We'll talk about that game some other time. Now here is the Imperial TIE Fighter. As you can see, it's very inaccurate for a TIE Fighter. Supposedly why it's blue is because when they were filming the original movie, the TIE Fighters were supposed to be blue, but because of the blue screen technology they were working with, like they would blend in or something. So they made them gray, and now all TIE Fighters are gray. Yep, it's a very simple build. Here's the inside. You know, you have room for one figure, which is the TIE Pilot. Let's go to the TIE Pilot. It's the TIE Pilot. He's very, very basic and outdated by today's standards. He basically has a Stormtrooper helmet painted all black with 2 Imperial crests on him. With his helmet, he has a brown head. Yep, when I was a kid, when I played with this, he didn't wear his helmet much. Reason why is because, you know, I took this figure somewhere, and the helmet fell off out of my pocket or something. My parents' car ran over it. When I eventually got the helmet back, you know, it was crushed. It wouldn't fit over him. So my TIE Fighter pilot usually flew without a helmet. But that figure's long gone now. Here's the look at the wings, the solar panel wings. Now it's all brick built, you know. Yeah, it's very basic. There's the Imperial crest right there. Yeah, I remember as a kid, you know, I couldn't get these bricks to stick together. So what I did was I put tape on the wings to get them to stay down. It worked, but it wasn't fun. You know, the sets didn't last more than a couple years in my house. Here's the back of it. Should also mention that these bricks aren't exactly stable, so they're prone to falling off. So when you open it, you gotta hold the back here to lift it up, so that way it doesn't fall off. There's the engine. For its time and for its price, it was a nice set. It's nostalgic, but it's definitely outdated. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it, outdated. Before we move on, let's go over the Darth Vader figure. There's Darth Vader, and it's basic old Darth Vader with a cloth cape. Helmet comes off, and you can see Anakin's head. That's pretty much all there is to say about the 2005 TIE Fighter. let's move over to the 2018 TIE Fighter. This is set number 75211. Has 519 pieces. Recommended for ages 9 to 14. This was released for the Solo, a Star Wars story movie. Yeah, this originally retailed for around $70, $80. I'm gonna say it was $70 with the box. Yeah. It's the TIE Fighter flying through space, firing lasers. Included, you got a figure of the Mimban Stormtrooper, a TIE Fighter pilot, Han Solo, and Tobias Beckett. The back of the box, here we have the TIE Fighter on Mimban, which is a very muddy, swamp-like world. And we have the characters fighting. A feature the TIE Fighter does, it's on the other side. Here is the TIE Fighter. It's a nice big improvement over the 2005. It's also an improvement over the 2011 because these parts are actually bricks and not like little wire things, whatever those are called. Here we have the figures. We have the TIE Pilot. His helmet. He has an angry clone face. That's what LEGO fans refer to this face as. We have Tobias Beckett. He was one of the main characters in the movie. He's in a Stormtrooper captain disguise. He came with 2 blasters. I only have one of them, and I just gave him this LEGO pistol right here. Here we have the Mimban Stormtrooper. We have his helmet. He also has an angry clone face. He also comes with this cloth cape. Not cloth, a paper cape. And we have Han Solo as a mud trooper. He comes with this long blaster. He comes with a cape and a helmet, which is a double-sided face. Dang it, I gotta fish that out later. The helmet fell behind the dresser. That'll be it. This is a face. Here we have the TIE Fighter. Yep, at the time, this was probably the most realistic TIE Fighter you could have gotten for LEGO. Yeah, because everyone seems to want accuracy over playability. Here's the cockpit. It has a place to hold the blaster for the TIE Pilot. You have a little control stick. The TIE Fighter pilot sits in there quite nicely for what he is. For the most part, this is just a recolored version of the Force Awakens First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. The only difference is this has 1 seat. The Special Forces TIE Fighter had 2 seats. Move this around, look at the wings. Yep, much more detailed. Those solar-powered wings. Here's the back of it. Here we have some spring-loaded shooters, which I'm not going to fire, but they will. Yeah, they're red. Oh no, this is a really nice TIE Fighter. It's expensive now, but it's worth it for what it is. And now finally we have set number 75300 for the Imperial Tie Fighter, released this year. You can buy this right now if you want to. There's 432 pieces, and this for ages 8 and up. The box here. If you buy this, you will get a TIE Fighter pilot, Annihilate, and a Stormtrooper. Here's the TIE Fighter, flying through space. There's the Death Star too in the background. Yeah, you can play this in the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga video game coming out sometime this year. Here we have the TIE Fighter in the hangar of possibly a Star Destroyer or maybe the Death Star getting ready to launch. And the spring-loaded shooter. Let's look at the figures. Yep, these are your figures. Here we have Annihilate. Formerly, you can only get him in the Death Star. But since the Death Star retired, you know, this is a nice alternate way to get this figure. There are differences between this figure and that figure, but mainly the colored wires on his chest. It's a nice Death Star droid. Yeah, his head doesn't move or come off very easily. Here we have the Stormtrooper. A lot of people don't like the helmet for the Stormtrooper, but I like it. Everyone hates how you can't turn the head. Well, I turned the heads on some very old Stormtrooper figures I had, and they don't turn very well, so this doesn't bother me. Here we have a regular face under there. They stopped using the angry clone on Imperials. Here we have the Imperial Tie Fighter pilot. It's a nice figure. There's his helmet. We have a nice angry face there, and it comes with a little blaster. Here we have the Imperial Tie Fighter. This retails for around $40 US. And it's a nice little set compared to the 2018, which was 70. One thing you can notice is it's very small. In fact, if you held this next to the 2005 TIE Fighter, you can notice it's actually smaller than the 2005. But that's not a bad thing, because this is more accurate than the 2005. It's also more affordable than the 2018. We have the cockpit. You open up. You fit one figure in there perfectly. These are your controls for the pilot set. Here, there's the wings. Yeah, this set will take you around less than an hour to build. No more challenging than the 2005, but it's a nice, easy set. These wings. Here we have the back. There's the engines and the spring-loaded shooters. One thing you'll notice is that it has green shooters on the front instead of red. That's because TIE Fighters shoot green laser bolts, not red. But if anything, the tips are supposed to be red and the bolts are supposed to be green. Now, it'd be nice if LEGO, I think, just painted the top of these red, and when you fired them out, they were green. That'd be cool. But, you know, what are you gonna do? All in all, it's a nice, cheap little set. Well, I recommend it. A lot of people don't like how it's small, or whatever. But I don't care. It's a nice Imperial TIE Fighter that I didn't own. It's cool. I like it. I recommend it. There's really not much else to say about it. Well, that concludes my look at the Imperial TIE Fighter LEGO sets from 2005 to 2021. Which one is your favorite set? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you all next time with another toy review. Toy and Game Collector signing off.